Aha, now I'm live. That took a while to get sorted. Now then, can let's have a look. I hope the audio is okay. It looks really low for whatever reason. I noticed that there were two people waiting. If you were there, give me a message and let me know if the audio is loud enough. I'm going to close this door as well here. Hey, Peter, hello. Peter, is the audio, can you hear the audio? Is it all right? Hey, Anna, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear? Yes. Is it all right? No problem. The volume all right, Peter, is it? Yay. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Well, isn't that strange that the two people who are here are from the Spanish link? Yes, no problem. Very good. Good. Excellent. Well, listen, I don't know if more people are coming. I know there was a lady from the US who said she was going to try and join us. But as I said, even if there are two people, if there's one person, then it's worthwhile doing this. So the purpose of this live streaming is just for us to focus on and to talk about the worries and the fears that we have at the moment, and then we're going to kind of work through them and do some techniques to just to bring down the fear. Um, the issue with fear is this: the issue that we have is that when we are in a state of fear, we do not function very well. We become more susceptible to being ill, not just physically, but mentally as well. And so, being in a state of fear, even if we're in a situation where things are bad, and nobody's saying that we're in a normal situation. This is not normal. This is abnormal. And so, it's normal that we will be feeling very uncomfortable at the moment. It's normal. But what we have to do is to get ourselves into a place, manage that discomfort and manage our own state. Because if we can keep ourselves in a good state, that keeps us strong and that helps us to overcome whatever it is that we have to overcome. So, for example, Peter, give me three words that describe. I know I've seen you talk about this before and you say that you're scared. Give me three words that describe the fear that you are feeling these days, this discomfort, this I'm not happy. And you do the same for me, Anna. Three words that you would say were really describe where you are mentally. And I will wait. Well, actually, as you're writing it, I'll talk. That might be better. Otherwise, it'll be really boring. Yeah, and I'll have a drink of tea. These are really fascinating times that we're in. Let's have a look. I'm very, very restless, fed up, can't concentrate, moving from one task to another. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, and this is what I've noticed with myself as well, that since the lockdown started, since all of this madness started, that I have been incredibly productive. Right? I've done so many things, but I understand why. It's because I believe that if I can keep myself busy, then my mind is not going to go off into bad places. And I guess that's what you're doing, Peter. You're restless because you're trying to keep yourself occupied. Because one of the really hard things for us to do is to take time out and just sit, because our mind then wanders, and then we kind of get all kinds of weird weird thoughts. So it's often that we keep ourselves busy, but it's not always necessarily a good thing. It's not a good thing. So my fear does not come from the current situation, really. It comes from the person, from my past. Okay. Okay. Um, Anna, what is the fear about? I mean, you don't have to go into the deep details, but is it what specifically, this person from the past, what specifically are you frightened of that might happen? If you can put that for us. Peter, do you find yourself being productive in the fact that you're doing lots of things, or do you find that you're just kind of skimming stuff? Or have you found that you've been able to do stuff more? Let's have a look. Restless. Started to study my Spanish, then move on to staring into space for 10 minutes. Okay, I can spend an hour trying to start a task. Okay, okay. To me, that's you're probably like millions of other people at the moment. When the lockdown started, when I was going out shopping, what I noticed was that the shelves that had crisps, nuts, all of the like the rubbish food were empty, absolutely empty. Every week I went, there was no crisps, no nuts, and there was no pizza in the freezer. And that's because I think everybody just started to do stuff like watch the television and eat anything to distract themselves. Okay, these are times when we want to be distracted because we don't really want to have to look at what's happening. Um, hmm. One of the things that we can do, and one of the things that you can do, Peter, to improve this, improve your situation, is to be able to calm yourself down. Okay, to calm yourself down. I mean, there are tons of techniques, and I've done them with you, and we'll do some today. You can do them with me, but you must get yourself into a place of serenity. Okay, now that's not easy to do, but you can do it, and it takes practice, and you have to do it every day. Now, Peter, I seem to recall that when you were going to talk to that lady, I think she was getting you into doing some kind of daily meditation. Do you still do your daily meditation? I need to swim to lift the weights, but I can't. I can't even buy my bike. Okay. Mm. Right. Okay. Since recently I've started to do meditation in the morning, and I'm not talking about mega sitting there for an hour. I do around about 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, and that is just allowing me to just be still, not doing anything else, nothing else except sitting. I close my eyes and I focus on my breathing, and it's incredible what happens in those 10 to 15 minutes in terms of calming you down. And every time, and you're going to have thoughts and you're going to have weird stuff going through your mind. All that you do is you accept that that's going to happen and you keep bringing yourself back to your breath. Just keep coming back to focus on your breath. And you will notice a difference in the energy level when you come out of that. Even if it's 10 to 15 minutes, you'll be calmer, you'll be more serene, and you'll be more ready to face the day. Okay. So I need to swim. So no, no. What was the second no for, Peter? I don't know what I asked you for the second no. Um, the issue that we have in our world today, and thanks to mobiles, and I'm pointing to my mobile over there, thanks to mobiles and computers and tablets and everything, is that if we want to, we can be distracted all of the time. The distraction that we have is not good. For example, Peter, distraction of using Facebook. Okay, Facebook is a tremendous distraction, but generally it doesn't leave us in a good place. So it can distract us, but it can make us angry. It can make other people angry at us, depending on which opinion we have. And if we don't share their opinion, then they get angry with us. So all of those kind of the tablet distractions can make us feel 100 times worse, 100 times worse. Like the coiled spring, that's true. I'm even getting my gritting my teeth now. Okay, my second no was the power of two. Oh, okay. We'll put it again for the power of three. Power of three is very important. So, first things first, very important that what I would suggest for you, Peter, specifically, and knowing you, I would suggest that you take periods of time during the day away from the social media, from the tablet. Just no time. Come away from that and have a break. And if you can, I mean, especially the way that you're saying you're grinding your teeth and you you're not feeling it like in a great place, take out maybe 2 or 3 segments a day of 10 minutes if you can. You're on your holidays now. Just 10 minutes. It's easy to do. Sit down and just focus on your breathing, close your eyes, and do nothing else. That's it. What happens in those periods of time is that your mind, it's, I don't know if you've ever defragmented a computer, and it's when the memory drive gets all cluttered and you defrag it, and what it's like taking everything out of a cupboard and then you put it puts it all back in, but in order, and so it actually reduces the size of the space that's being used up. When you take time out and you just sit and are still, your mind can do that. Your mind can start to defrag itself and start to put things in order. And it's amazing how many times you make these connections when you're like that, and your mind says, "Hey, um, right, I understand now. That is that," and it puts it together. That doesn't happen when, as you say, Facebook is like a drug, and it it it's addictive. It really is. All of the, do you think, honestly, do you think that they don't know that these things are addictive? Of course they're addictive. They create apps specifically to create addiction. And a classic example was the Candy Crush or something. I've never played it, but people were addicted to it. People were spending hours and hours and hours on this game. They know fine well that it's addictive. They know that they create Facebook for it to be addictive. You make a comment, and then other people comment on your comment, and then you feel obliged to go in and look. And so, I mean, my advice is to not use it. Not use it. I go on once a day because of the business, and if I didn't have a business, I would not go on Facebook. I wouldn't use it. I think it's horrific and divisive, and it is a place of hate and of separation and division. That's exactly what it does. And would you believe that there are people who were paid to go in there and create division and separation and polemic? People are paid to do that. That's their job. And that's not just in Facebook, in Twitter, in all of them. People are paid to go in and create, obviously, according to the political agenda of the time. They have to go in and stir things up. Okay. So quite often you'll find that you're arguing with somebody, and particularly these are the people who will call you names, who will laugh at you, who will deride what you're saying. You're arguing with them, and they're at work. They're just doing it because that's their job. So be very careful with that. Don't take as genuine quite often what people are saying. All right, and obviously if you know the person, then that's different. But what happens is this with Facebook. What I find is that we are very easily led. We are as a race. I don't know. You know what happens when they've done experiments where somebody collapses in the street, right? They get somebody to fall down and feign, like, I don't know, just to collapse. But what they do is they have all the people around them. Nobody goes to help that person who's fallen down. And so because of peer pressure, nobody else goes to help either. And so the person just lies there. But then they have somebody collapse, and then one person goes to help. As soon as one person goes to help, everybody goes to help. Now, isn't that bizarre? That's just how humankind is, that we seem to like to do what everybody else does. Okay. And the issue is that they've got these people who are going in and who are paid to create arguments and dissonance. And of course, everybody follows them because they think that they are the peers and they're not. Right. Sorry, I'm missing some. Uh, what's right? I'm like a cold spring, right? What's annoying is the fact that I'm reasonably intelligent, just reasonably. Why not just say I'm intelligent? You don't have to put reasonably in front. That means that you don't need to. You don't need it. I'm being drawn into the crap of Facebook. Exactly. If you were reasonably intelligent, Peter, or even more than that, then all you need to do is switch the bastard off. Okay? That's all that you need to do. It's nice and easy. Okay. I don't know how to explain this, Susanna, because even for me, this fear does not make sense, but it is making my life less happy than I would like. Somebody's calling me. All right, it's my mum. Okay. My mum's calling me. I'm going to have to just switch it off. Hang on. There we are. Sorry about that. Fear does not make sense, but it's making my life less happy than I would like. Okay, I understand. You know, fear, remember what fear is? It's an acronym, isn't it? False expectations appearing real. Fear has nothing to do with the truth, has nothing to do with what's going to happen, has nothing to do with anything. It's what we are creating inside of ourselves. So, of course, it doesn't make sense. Don't try and look for sense within fear. Fear is just designed to make you get the hell out of there. That's all. You know, and the issue with fear is this, that we feel fear, and the fear sets us into the fight or flight, and our job is to run. Right? All right, we can fight as well, but often that's not the first option. The first option is to run like hell. And of course, these days we've got nowhere to run to. Nor would we run anywhere, because we're in our environment, and so we're just living with this fear, and our body's telling us to run and scream and fight, and we're not doing anything. And so this gives us this terrible, terrible angst inside, like this being torn apart, because your body wants you to do something, and of course you're not going to do it because you just, for example, Anna, you work at home, you work from home, so you're at home and you've got this fear, but there isn't really anything you can do about it. And so that can cause you tremendous discord inside, tremendous discord. Let's have a look. I just want it to disappear, stop thinking about it. I know all the things I need to do, but it does not seem to work, and I don't know why. Okay. Anna, if you're a doctor, right, when doctors get ill, do you think they treat themselves, or do you think they go and see somebody else to see what needs to be done? The worst thing that can happen to a doctor is that he starts self-medicating, and that's because you haven't got the distance from the problem to be able to fix the problem. And this is the problem that you were saying. You know what to do, but it's not working. And all that is because it's the snake biting its own tail. You were trying to heal yourself with your own resources, but your resources are depleted because you're in fear. So it's kind of like this vicious circle that we get into. And that's why it's much easier when somebody else is leading you. Yeah, when somebody else is guiding you, it's much better. Even if, and this is what I want to do with these sessions, is to actually start creating like a group where we all work together, and I can lead and anybody else can lead as well, and lead everybody to help them to get rid of their fears and whatever it is that needs to be done, because it isn't as easy on your own. Okay, I know this as well. I've got all of the techniques, but quite often Cynthia will do some techniques with me, and they work much better when somebody else is guiding you. Okay, it's a challenge when you're doing it yourself. All right. So Peter, Candy Crush, my life still plays that. My wife, oh no, my wife. Well, tell her to stop because it's very addictive. Okay, it should be called Cocaine Crush. That's what it should be called. I think it might be a Facebook, of course, great for my Spanish. I disagree, Peter. I disagree that Facebook is good for your Spanish. I really don't think it is. I didn't have Facebook when I learned Spanish, and never missed it. Didn't miss it. No, it never. Facebook. The fact that Facebook hadn't been invented then had no bearing on my Spanish at all. So don't fool yourself. That sounds like that you are justifying Facebook. Facebook won't teach you Spanish. Okay, you teach yourself Spanish. Um, and Peter, one day I quit Facebook cold turkey and never went back. The first days were a bit difficult, and then I found many other things to do, which were much more. Exactly, Anna. Exactly. That it's addictive, and of course, if you quit it, you will go into withdrawal. There's it. You know they've done tests on the brain um, of the mini um, uh, feel good drugs. I can't remember the name of them. When we get a like, when we put a comment and somebody likes it, we see the like, and our brain lets go a small amount of a feel good drug. So we feel good, you know. It's like when you get praise from somebody, you go, "Hey, I feel really good." But it's very small, it's minute. But how many and why do you think people go for followers and likes and everything like that? It's because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good, and it creates this addiction, so that when you're not getting them, and if you get a dislike, for example, then you go the opposite way down. Oh my God, oh my God, somebody said that I'm a twat, right? Oh, at the end of that spoiled my day. Come on. How can what people write on a little bit of a little screen spoil your day? But it does, and that's because we need those feel good drugs from Facebook and from all kinds. Hey, I'm not just talking about Facebook. I'm talking about all internet use. We feel good or we feel bad, and that's not. We are then powerless. We want to take our power back from these horrible things that have been invented. They are horrible things, by the way. They are horrible. They're not. They're not for the higher good. Definitely not, in my opinion, anyway. So let's have a look. Cynthia's here. Hello. I'll tell you, Mummy busy. Okay. I have no fear of the Miley Cyrus. What's Miley? What do you mean? No fear of Miley Cyrus? The girl, the singer, or is that rhyming slang or the virus? Ah, okay. Oh, excellent. Right. I have fear of the whole situation. I'm very annoyed of the narrative. I don't know how to vent my anger. Okay, yeah. I know, but I don't want to be a burden to my friends. This is the reason I've been trying on my own. Okay. Well, Anna, just round the corner, you've got somebody who's very happy to help. Okay. So you never keep that to yourself. Okay. There's no point. We're all here to help one another. So my wife doesn't have even the Ser Socio group, Peter. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to tell you, that's just there just to chat with people. That won't help you to speak Spanish, okay? The Ser Socio won't help you to speak Spanish. All it'll help you to do is get to know people, and that's lovely, and that's nice. But it won't teach you to speak Spanish, all right? And your wife doesn't have Facebook. That's good. Hey, Beth, hello. My question for Gordon. I keep thinking that we are being sent home for protection, but then that makes me fearful too. Need help with the middle ground. Beth, help me understand that a little bit more. You think that we are being sent home for protection. Just expand on that. What do you mean by that? Sent home? Do you mean kept at home for protection? I just need to understand that so I can talk about it. That's good. So Beth's here as well. So what I'd like to do is this. Each one of us has lockdown. I know that's what I'm wondering. Home shelter. Yeah, okay. All right. For protection. Well, there are all kinds of theories about this, Beth. You know, um, I think that the whole thing, obviously is has been created. This is not hasn't come by accident, and it isn't our fault, right? It hasn't come because suddenly mankind is traveling more, or mankind is being very bad, or anything like that. Like all of the stories and the narratives that they're selling us now, it's our fault. You know, it was going to come, and you know, mankind's been so bad, and we've been traveling since. Hang on, when did Columbus start traveling? We've been traveling for a long time. Okay, I'm not sure whether I'm really on board with the traveling narrative. Okay, I went when I was 16. I went to Italy and I didn't get anything. Okay, um, so the whole thing's been created by the baddies, in my opinion, by the baddies. But I also think that it's being used by the goodies, uh, also to help to achieve the outcome that the good ones have as well. You know, I see this world that we're in is we're in this binary world. We're in a binary world of black and white, good and bad, up and down. Okay, and that's for every bad group and bad energy that's trying to destroy mankind. Really, there's also the equal and opposite good. And we must always remember that as well. It's really important to remember that it isn't all bad. You know, in the yin yang sign, you've got a big black side, but it's still got white in it. Okay. And we're moving into this place of where the light keeps getting brighter, the great awakening. We're into the place where people are becoming more and more aware. And as time moves on, more people are becoming aware. And so what I see is this: we're in this residual place of where the bad people were getting their way, and boy, they've getting their way for a long time. Eh? They set the course years and years and years ago, just a little like 1 degree off, and we've been traveling along that course. You know, if you travel on a boat, and if you're 1 degree off, you don't even notice it at the beginning. By the time that you get to the end of the journey, you are in the wrong place, and that's exactly what they've done. They've changed us little by little, and now we arrived at a place that was horrible. They've got us to a horrible place. I believe that we're in. You know, it's been almost like satanic, demonic. That's where they've got us to, this place where where bad is good, and immoral is moral. Yeah, and moral is now immoral. So we're in this really bizarre place. But at the same time, there's also this wave of help that we're getting, which is good. And we're being taken to the good place, right? So we're fine. We're absolutely fine. What we've got to do is, if we're at home and stay safe and keep ourselves in a great place. But you know, the only thing that we can do is to keep ourselves in a good place. That's the only thing that we can do, because we are not powerful enough to change everything, but we can change anything with our mind. We can change the whole situation. And the more of us that have the same mentality, the faster it's going to change. Okay, so that's what the purpose of this is about, is to help us to get into a better place so that we can start now pushing out the right vibes from our mind. Yeah. Um, okay. Let's have a look. So home shelter, quarantine, lockdown, maybe monkey's tail Gordon springs to mind with the likes. Peter, the monkey's tail is exactly, you know, this is where we are. This is where we are in the world. We have the Walking Dead surrounding us. The Walking Dead. It's zombie city, right? And these Walking Dead are controlled by like the monkeys. They pull the tail and the dance. Da, 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 da. That's all that they're doing. And the media does it over and over and over and over again. Just today, just today, what would you know? In the UK, a policeman has knelt on a black man's neck. And It's all over the news. Like, can they not think of a new narrative? They are the most uncreative group of people. They just keep pulling the same tale. But the problem is, so many monkeys have morphed into much better, higher beings, and they're going to pull the tail, and it doesn't work. The tails come off, and this is where we are. People just don't believe it anymore. It's like, oh my God, here we go again, the same old story. Yeah. Um, okay. So let's have a look. You're not a burden, Anna. Friends are here. Exactly. That's what I said. Thank you. Yes, still have anxiety welling up. Okay, right. So let's start. Let's get down to it. Okay. What we're going to do is this. We're going to start by doing some EFT together. Now, because we've got a number of people and we've got a number of issues, okay, then what I think we should do is this. I want you to focus on the feelings that you have most of the time, these negative feelings. Okay, this is really important. So we're going to do this in stages. Let me have a little drink so I can wet my whistle. Right. Go inside of your body, and I want you to get in touch with the feelings that you are having, these feelings that you can't control, these negative feelings that are overwhelming you. And if you want to, give it a name. Yeah, just give it a name, or give it various names. But I want you to get in touch with the feeling now. And as you get in touch with that feeling and you notice where it is in your body, very often we have it down here. We keep them here, and they start having emotion. Yeah, emotion. Yeah, emotion. They're always in movement. So notice where you have them in your body, and then I want you to give it a score from 0 to 10. 10 is maximum negative, and 0 is nothing. Okay, so I want you to start and give yourself a score of just how high that feeling is. Now, when it gets out of control, that's anything over a 3 is out of control. But typically, when we've been mulling over these things for a long time and they're really getting us down, we can have them at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to just score me, just put the number of where your emotion is at the moment. Yeah, what number is it from 0 to 10? And give me that there before we start, okay? Peter's at an 8, Beth's at a 6 to 7. I'm waiting for Anna. Maybe she's nipped out. Okay, we'll wait. I'm going to explain how we do it. Okay, Anna, 6. All right. Okay, so look, I mean, six isn't extreme, but it's not good because it's over half. It's going to be overwhelming us. And when you're at 8, Peter, obviously that's just, that's just about there, isn't it? That's kind of super overwhelming. Okay. We're going to use a technique called EFT. And I know 2 of you have used this before. I don't know if Beth has. What happens is this: EFT kind of takes a layer off the fear that we have, or whatever it is, that the emotion that we're dealing with. Okay, so it's almost like taking layers off an onion. Okay, and we get down to the lower levels. You may find that your emotion will change. Okay, because let me explain, you're all talking about different things, but the root of all of those things, that might be frustration or anger or whatever. Fear is the base of that emotion. Always, we're only in either love or fear. Love or fear. That's the 2 base emotions. Okay. So you may find that it'll change as we go through. It doesn't matter. All we're going to do is change the wording a little bit when we do the setup. Okay. So what we do is this. I'm going to show you the setup. The setup is karate chop hand, and you're just going to be banging this part of your hand like this. Okay. So do that now with me, and I want you to repeat these words, and I want you to say them out loud. I know if you can, obviously, say them out loud, all right? And say, even though I am feeling fearful, I'm okay. Even though I'm not happy, I'm a good person. Even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm okay. I like who I am. Okay, that's the setup. So once you've done that, take these two fingers. Now let me explain. I'm going to show you how you're going to be tapping. Listen to this, and if you can hear it. All right. So I'm not breaking the skin, but I'm not doing it like gently. All right. So we're going to do it. Let me move this. We're going to start. And I want you to focus on the emotion that you have, and I want you just to repeat what I'm saying. All right. So we start on the crown of the head like this. You're going to be banging there. Okay. And I want you to say, I am fearful. I am filled with fear. And then move to the in between the eyes here. And I don't like it. I don't like how I feel. Side of the eye here. It's making me ill. It's making me sad. It's making me angry. I don't like it. Under the eye. I don't like where I am. And I don't like what's happening. Under the nose here. I'm tired and I'm fed up and I'm sick of this. On the chin here, I just want this all to go away. I want it to go away. I'm tired of it. And then follow your collarbones down, right down to the knobbly bits at the bottom, and bang them with your fingers. I'm tired. I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of the way that I am. I want to change. I want to let this go. And then with your wrists, bang your wrists together. I want to release this and I want to let it go because I'm tired of it. One more round, top of the head. I'm tired and I'm fearful. In between the eyes. It's time to let this go. It's taking over my life. Side of the eye. I want better for myself. I want something different. Under the eye. I want this just to go. And I want it to be replaced by something better. Under the nose. I want to be able to breathe easily. I want to be relaxed. On the chin. I want a better life. I want to be better. I want to feel better. Collarbones. It's time for a change. And I'm the only one that can do it. I'm the only one that can do it because the change has to happen inside of me, not outside. Do your wrists. I release this and let it go because I don't need it anymore. Because it's not working anymore. Because it's not valuable anymore. Now, take your fingers like this, please. Put one finger in between your eyes and then one on your chin like that. And I want you to close your eyes and massage. And I want you just to focus on your breath. And I'm going to talk to you, okay? So you just keep massaging like this with your eyes closed and I'll talk to you. Quite often what happens is that we get stuck in patterns. We get stuck in negative patterns. Not because of any reason, not because we're bad people, not because we're not intelligent enough, It's just because we are unable to release the emotions. And so the emotions stay within us and they circle round and they circle round and they circle round. You see, the reason is that emotions, the job of an emotion is to be felt and to be released, to be felt and to be released. That's what emotions do. What happens is when we are unable to express them, when we repress emotions, and we are all trained to repress them. Don't be a crybaby. Big boys don't cry. Keep it to yourself. Stiff up a lip. We are told not to express our emotions, especially when they're negative. And so what we happens is we keep them inside and they go round and round, hurting us and making us sad and making us depressed and making us angry. And so what we're doing here is releasing them. We're letting them go. We are acknowledging them, recognizing them, and then we're letting them go. Okay, take a nice deep breath. You can stop doing that. Now, just take a moment, okay? And then I think I can smell burning toast. Can you smell burning toast or not? Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is this. I want you to get in touch with that feeling, that old feeling, and then just notice where it is in your body. Notice what's left, okay? And notice what number you would give it now, all right? So then post up your numbers for me, please. Just get in touch with the feeling and let me know what you're feeling now. Typically you might find them that they've gone down. Depends, it depends. Oh, so Beth's at a 4, Peter's at a 4. Wow, that's good, Peter. That's half, yeah. And Beth, you've come down by 50%, 60%, maybe. We'll wait to see what Anna's saying. Remember that if you can get your emotion under 4. Anna's at a 3. That's brilliant, Anna. That's 100% difference. If you could get your emotions to below 4, 3, 2, 1, that's controllable. That's you in control. When they're above that, when they're up 5, 6, 7, that's you not in control. Okay, now when you're not in control, what happens is that you start to panic and you start to get overwhelmed and you start to worry because you're not in control. All right, now that process that we've done, all right, I've guided you, and often it helps if somebody guides you. It just seems to work even better, but you can still use it on your own. You can still use this technique, and even if you have to do it 4 or 5 times, you just go round and round until you get down to a better place. Now, what people say to me often is this: yeah, but then it goes back up again. All right, and I agree. Quite often it depends on the problem that you're working with. I've worked with people with I've used EFT and the problem has gone and has never come back. All right, but the things that you're talking about are what happens is these all have big red buttons, right? Beth's talking about being quarantined. Now that just doesn't go away because you tap yourself. What goes away is the feeling that you have attached to that. Okay, Anna's talking about fear of somebody from before in their life. That person's not going to go away unless they die, right? But what can go away is how we represent that in our body. And the same with you, Peter. What we're doing is we are creating inside of ourselves a reaction to something that's external. The external won't go away. It's like, let me tell you a story. There was a man who was talking to a group of people, okay? And he said to the people there, he singled one person out and he said, do you know what? I've got to tell you that you are a wonderful person. You stand out from the crowd. You are somebody special, okay? And the guy had a big beaming smile on his face. He was, oh, I've been recognized finally. And he turned to another guy and he said, but I'm going to tell you that you are not a good person. I can tell by your body language. I can tell by the way you're standing, the way that you don't look at me properly. You can't get eye contact. I don't like you. And the guy, okay. And then the man said, why did you get happy? Why are you so happy about what I told you? And why are you so sad about what I told you? You've allowed me to create emotional states in you. You've given me permission because you believe what I'm saying. And this is what's happening with us. This is what we do. Every moment of our life, we are making a decision based on the stimulus. We are deciding, am I going to allow this stimulus to affect me or not? And we're like boats that are moored to the harbor, to the port. And so the boat that's moored there is going like this, up and down according to the tide and the waves, up and down. Good news, bad news, good news, bad news, good news, bad news. And that's awful. What we need to be like is the dock. We need to be the solid bit. And yes, we're going to see things going like this around us, but we need to be the solid dock. How do we become the dock and not the boat? That's by working on ourselves, getting our emotion under control. But I tell you something else that's really important. You must express your emotion. You must express it. You mustn't bottle it up because you give it strength. When we deny something, we give it strength. And so laugh when you need to laugh. Cry when you need to cry. Let it out. You must let it out because that's the emotion doing its job. There's nothing wrong with anger, fear, frustration. There's nothing wrong with those emotions. They're natural emotions. They all come from fear, but they're natural emotions. But what's unnatural is when we don't express them. I don't like to talk about that. It's too upsetting. Get the bugger talked about. Talk about it. Get it out. You must get your emotions out. Okay. Now, what you can do is if you, this is, let me explain. If you're angry and you say, hey, I'm really angry, it's done, right? But it's when you hold on to it and you hold on to it and you hold on to it, and then there's an explosion and it's so out of balance that you think, oh, I'm not going to do that again. But that's just because you held on to it for too long. You held on to it for too long and you denied it, and then it became a monster. So that's all that happens with our emotions. If I express my emotions, I could kill someone sometimes. Very true. Very true. I just really hope that you're not talking about me, Cynthia. But and I'm going to tell you this, Cynthia. Your emotions, when you get to an emotion where you could kill somebody, too late. Boy, you have bottled that up. You've denied that for far too long. Okay? The natural emotion is, hey, I'm really not happy about that. I'm angry about that. I'm frustrated with what you've done. Okay? That's the true emotion. But then when we layer it one upon the other over and over the years often, then it becomes distorted. It's like it becomes a monster within us. And so our job, yes, I know. Yeah. Our job is this. Our job is to express our emotions. And then when we feel that we can't control them, that they're too much for us, then we tap. Okay. Now, the system, if you don't worry if you get it wrong and you go, I've done my nose, the side of my eye. Oh, I forgot that. It doesn't matter. They all work. I just follow a routine because it's easier to follow a routine. But if you, for example, I know somebody who just does this. When they're feeling anxious, they just start sitting and they tap like this. Yeah. And you can do it. You can do it all over the place. If you're feeling you're sitting, you're outside, you can still do this. People don't really know what you're doing. Just think you're doing that thing with your voice. But you can, and tapping your wrists together, you can do anything. It doesn't matter the order, but what is very important is the frequency. My suggestion is that you do this on a daily basis, and at the moment, probably twice daily. I also suggest that you take 10 minutes out of your day, 15 minutes, even if it's once a day. And I would suggest in the morning because it sets you up for the day. Take 15 minutes out and just sit. Focus on your breathing and just allow your mind to still. Allow your mind to still. Now, it won't still, like you'll have loads of thoughts, but you just divorce yourself from them. And don't take them personally. You know, when you get images of killing somebody, Cynthia, for example, don't take that personally. That's just your mind playing. Your mind does weird stuff. Do not identify yourself with your thoughts. It's very important. Right? Lots of people identify themselves with the thoughts and they think that there must be bad people. No. If we opened our heads and everyone could see our thoughts, we would all be in prison. We'd all have to have the lethal injection or something. You know, our thoughts they're just random. They just do weird stuff. We are not our thoughts. But if we allow ourselves to have repeated negative thoughts, then we do become our thoughts. Okay, because they're the ones that do us damage. The thoughts that are linked to emotion. It's the emotion that controls us, not the thought. That's why you know that thoughts are not more powerful than emotion. When you are sad and you go for chocolate, your mind is going, oh, I shouldn't do that. No, you shouldn't go for chocolate. Too late. You've got the emotion. The emotion controls us. So our job is to control the emotion. Okay? So there you are. Right. My thoughts are bizarre. Yes, my thoughts are bizarre too, Peter, and we've talked about this. So the tapping helps detach the negative feeling from the actual act or event. Yeah, Beth, the tapping, what happens is this. When we have a negative feeling, what that does, it fires up a neural pathway in our brain, and it puts us out of balance. When the emotion is a negative emotion, it puts us out of an emotional imbalance. When you're tapping, what you're doing is it's like you're tuning the car, you're tuning it, or tuning the radio to get it back on the station. When you have all this negative emotion, it's like you're off the station and it's just crackling. And so what EFT does, it tunes it. And so you're teaching your mind not this. Okay? And our minds learn really quickly. That's the thing. They do learn really quickly. If you keep saying, I'm feeling this, no, I don't want this. I want this. And your mind finally gets the idea. So it isn't like something you've got to do for the rest of your life on this one issue. If you just EFT on a daily basis, I guarantee that the issue that you have will disappear if you do it for a week. The issue will not be the same issue. It might still be there, but it'll be different. Okay? Right, guys, that's all I wanted to do for today, right? I'm going to do some more, hopefully in the future. And if we can, with a small group like this, I don't know, there's a few other people who wanted to come but weren't able to. If we could do it on the Zoom as well, that would be fabulous. Then I can see you all, and then we can do it even more kind of interactively. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm recently obsessing over stuff, counting my socks in the drawer over stuff, over analyzing. It's because I'm fed up. Yeah. There are two groups of people, Peter, in this world. Now, I'm not pigeonholing people, right? It's very, very like broad brush, but there are two kinds of people. You've got the obsessive people and you've got the hysterical people, right? Obsessive and hysterical. I'm in the hysterical group, but lots of people are in the obsessive group. Now, what that means is that obsessive people, you do things like they count things and that has to be in this place. It must be pointing in this direction, right? And the hysterical people have zero control over things. And it's like very random. They're overly random. And obsessive people are overly controlling. That's fine. That's just human nature. That's who we are. The issue is when we become out of balance, when we become highly stressed, when we become in a very fearful place, our obsession becomes excessive, right? The people who have OCD that I've worked with only have OCD to a point where they can't control it when they are not happy. when they are not in a great place in their life, and they're under massive stress, and it all becomes exaggerated. When you get to a good place, obsession is fine. There's nothing wrong with obsession. It's just a state of mind. It's a type of personality. And it's the same with being hysterical. There's nothing wrong with it. Hysterical just means there's no order in your life. Okay, there's like a hysteria, chaos. Yeah, it's okay. That's just a personality trait. But it's when that person becomes stressed, then suddenly everything becomes chaotic in their life. Okay, so that all that's happening to you, Peter, because you're not in a good place. All of your obsessive traits are becoming exaggerated. That's all. It doesn't mean anything else. It just means, when you ride on a bike and you've got a buckled wheel, you're riding with a buckled wheel, and what happens is the ride becomes like this. It's a horrible ride when you're on a buckled wheel. Okay, all you need to do is get your wheel straight. Now you're talking about buying a bike. Make sure you buy a bike that has a straight wheel. Do not get a buckled wheel because you won't enjoy it. All right. Okay. So thank you. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to see you. And next time maybe we'll see one another on Zoom, and that'll be even more fun. Okay. Thank you. God bless you, and I'll see you again.